and Journal of Development Studies, Urban Studies, Complementary Economic Policy, China Economic Review, and many others. Okay, so it's a long list. I don't want to take away much of your time. And since 2001, Professor Zhang has been teaching in different Chinese university in China, such as Tsinghua University, Zhejiang University, Fudan University, many well-known first-class Chinese university. And he also served as a consultant advisor to many local and state institutions, governments, organizations. So as you know, that Professor Zhang is very well-versed in terms of policy implications and academic research. So today I'm very happy to have Professor Zhang to come here to talk with us.
Stand up here. All right. It's my honor to have a chance to talk here. And today the topic is on U.S.-China economic decoupling. Right? Well, right now, many people care about this issue. So I would like to focus on four questions about the decoupling. First one, that's why the U.S. decouples from China. Second, why the technological separation is the core of the decoupling. The third one is the cost of this decoupling. And finally, we look at the U.S. current strategy and the policy on decoupling. First, let's have a brief review about the changes in the past 20 years. It's a big change, actually, in the U.S.-China relations. Actually, my personal experience also closely related to this. I came to U.S. in 1987. You know, in 1980s, I believe at that time, U.S.-China relations were very good because I still remember when I came to U.S., I can feel American people so friendly toward the Chinese students at that time. Well, since the young people probably couldn't understand at that time why U.S.-China's relations so good because 1980s still in the Cold War. So U.S. and China together actually fight with former Soviet Union. All right? So really, relationship is really good. All right. And then something happened in 1991 when former Soviet Union collapsed. So the role of the China played in the relationship, the U.S. used China to fight with former Soviet Union. This role, is gone. So relationship started changing a little bit. But due to China at that time, Chinese government followed the economic and political reforms. So China started, so-called market economy, and it's not even they call it socialist market economy, but actually, basically, it's market economy. Just learn from U.S. Then at that time, American government and many American people believe China eventually will become more like market economy and also politically become democratic system, something like that. That's why in 2001, China entered WTO. Then at that time, many American people expect eventually China will be something that what American people expected. But somehow 10 years passed, U.S. American government gradually realized something different. China actually did not become what American people wish or hope to be. Then relationship gradually changed. That's why I feel that because in past over 3 decades. Okay, here let's focus on the past about 10 years. You see, even in 2010, Obama's administration at that time U.S. government follows it. We will continue to pursue positive, constructive, and comprehensive relationship with China. But remember, in the middle of 2010s, that's 2015, USA something changing. So here, a return to great power competition. In that year. And 2017, when Trump became U.S. president, USA's big changes. China wants to shape the world antithetical to the U.S. value and interest. Well, so past few years, many people may remember, big changes. All right. Then 2020, the Chinese Communist Party. Well, right now they will not call Chinese government. They use just Chinese Communist Party. The actions are primary challenger today in the free world. And Biden's administration, you say last year, our relationship with China will be competitive, collaborative, and adversary. This is the three aspects. But if you look back for just 1 year, since 2021, all right, USA few collaborations, more competition, even more adversary. You can see a lot of policies, and a lot of events. So here, I would like to emphasize indeed something changes in 2015. Well, right now, American view on decoupling like this. The Chinese economy is growing and to take over the US. Here, if we look at two tables in GDP, we have two measurements. One that's exchange rate GDP. For different countries, if we compare GDP, usually simple way is, say for China, Chinese currency, renminbi, just converted to US dollars, all right, based on current exchange rate, all right, go this way, all right. So that's we call the exchange rate GDP of the US and China. For the US, we use dollars, so no changing, all right. Use US GDP as benchmark, all right. For Chinese GDP, convert Chinese currency to US dollar. Then you will say here, the blue, this one that's for the US, the red one that's for China. From 2000 until 2021. US economy actually has been strong for the past 2 decades. In particular, if you relative to other industrialized economy, developed countries, US economy actually is pretty good, still very strong. Well, the Chinese economy even stronger because the red one USA grew fast. Here we have the measurement, that's the ratio China over the US. Start 2000s, that's just a little bit more than 10% of Chinese GDP, was only about 10% of the US GDP. Then this ratio growing. Then in 2015, over 60%. Many economists and political science research believe 60% of US GDP somehow is a very important turning point. If any country's GDP reach this point, then US will just take a very closed look at what's going on here. Say, if you look at back since the Second World War, all right, only one country, for China, is Japan. Russia, because of former Soviet Union, we do not have data. I believe in the best time for Russia, former Soviet Union's GDP should be more than 60%, but less than 70%. This is in debate for economists, because you just look at in the Cold War, actually, former Soviet Union, socialist group, they were very aggressive actually at the time, even until in 1980. Well, since we do not have data, but we do have data for Japan, in late 1980 and early 1990 at that time, more than 60%. Then we know US took some actions. Eventually, Japan's GDP dropped. Right now, it's about 20% or even less than 20% of the US GDP, Japan. So Japan no longer challenging to the US. Well, 2015, China reached this one. Then even continue. Last year, it got 77% US GDP. Another measurement is so-called purchasing power parity. Purchasing power parity. Many economists prefer this one because exchange rate fluctuate. Yeah, you see, even Chinese GDP growth rate this year will be still higher than US, but the gap between US and China this year will be widening. I would say, if you look at exchange rate GDP, 77%, this year will be lower than that because right now we know due to increasing interest rate, US dollar, the value dollar increased significantly. Other currencies right now depreciate relative to dollar. So exchange rate GDP for China, will decrease. So economists, realize this problem. So we have another measurement, that's purchasing power parity, PPP GDP. If you look at this one, you will find out actually in 2016, actually 2015, almost close to 100. In 2016, here's one. That's just the way. Actually, it's a little bit more than US. So China already took over US GDP in PPP GDP. By 2021, almost 20% higher than US GDP. But remember, for many people, in particular in business circle, people still prefer this one, exchange rate GDP, because in practice, say you visit China, you export import with China, we follow exchange rate. But the PPP GDP reflect something like goods and services you can produce. This will be very important in special times, say if we have war. All right, okay, anyway, let me back to this page. US realized Chinese economy is growing. So this is of course the reason, for American people, take China very seriously. And also the rising GDP enables China to have increasing military power and technology capability. This is very similar to the situation 100 years ago. The late 19th centuries, US in that time. At that time, US was rising, tend to take over, UK and Germany, all right? And for American government, we have another reason, it's even more important, for decoupling, all right? For decoupling, US economic integration is viewed to contribute largely to the rise of China. Some American analysts, they believe the success of China largely due to US help. Say, American allow China to get into WTO, and the US help China to open up. Because China follow open door policy. You can go back to 1979. Remember in that year, the two countries' relationship normalized. So we have normal relationship. Then US and other Western countries treat China very friendly. It's true. But other people say, well, you cannot say China is a big country, it's not a small one. You cannot say US can totally control. But many economists still believe, even you will not say most, all right, but still largely, indeed. And it means rapid economic growth of China, is in part is an outcome of the good US-China economic integration. Well, right now, US would like to stop or slow down the Chinese economy. So what the US can do is, okay, I will not have economic integration. So that's must decouple from China. Let's go this way. Remember, US, the integration between the two economies benefited both countries. Yeah, some economists even have some estimates about how much. In past 20 years, globalization, US should be number one. So US gained number one a lot. All right. China probably is second largest winner. We go this way. Here, if you look back data based on the World Bank data, you will see China got increasing GDP share in the world economy. But this is at expenses of other countries except the US. US still maintain roughly same global share of the GDP. It's about 22, 23, 24%. It's about a quarter, all right? So China's share increased significantly. Relatively, so others, say Western European countries, other countries, say Japan, the share drop. But right now, many American people believe, government officers and the people in Congress, they know even US benefited from the integration, but China seems benefited more than US because just like this diagram shield, this shield is increased. All right, we don't want that. Even decoupling can make both countries worse off, but they believe China's losses would be even larger, such that that's this one. We can stop or slow down the Chinese economy. That's the basic logic. Okay, now this table just shows the relative position of the two countries, US and China. We use 4 dimensions: market, supplier, competitor, and geopolitical rivals. You will say the US still maintain number one, but China, is getting close to the US. That's basic idea. Okay, but due to very close integration, so even you say for past few years, since 2015, particularly since 2017, when Trump became the president, indeed, US took a lot of actions. But right now, we say the decoupling still, they continue, but integration still remain largely. So here, now let's have a summary about the rationale for the US to decouple from China. We have 3 categories. First one, that's national security consideration. You will say, since US as a superpower, US must maintain a military edge over China that limit Chinese national security, espionage, and preventing Chinese sabotage in crisis, and so on. You will see that. That's because US have to consider a lot of things, not just for China, as Russia and other things. All right. Then you will see here I emphasize, this is a policy US took in the past few years. US have target. You see here Huawei, this company. This one is Zhongxin. That's also telecommunication, equipment supplier. And this one, you probably do not know this one. This company, produce a camera. Like that kind of camera. If you visit China, right now Chinese government use a lot of this kind of camera. So it's, you see, the Chinese government, this is easy for China to reduce criminal rate. Because in the US, sometimes the police couldn't get the criminal because they couldn't see it. In China, of course, the Chinese action has been criticized by American people because indeed, Chinese government does not protect personal privacy. But for some Chinese people, they support this because they feel safe. All right. So if you compare, the criminal rate, you will, some people say in China, big city, in the evening, even after midnight, girls walking on the street, this is because of a lot of camera there. This company, produce this kind of stuff. Of course, not only camera and also other stuff and the software. So they have recording video, and then go back to check, and also use some AI technology. Yeah, just figure out from your face something. Yeah, it's right now, this kind of big data technology. Yeah, so US right now also have targeted for this kind of, and this company. Yeah. You may not have heard, but the U.S. government, US, say CIA, FBI, they have a lot of information for this kind of Chinese company. Second category, that's economic rationality. All right. Say countering unfair Chinese economic practice and IP, that's intellectual property. Yeah, and competing and leading in strategic industry. Yeah, here, the Huawei is mentioned again because this company, produce leading products, that's 5G devices and telecommunication equipment. Right? And the third category, ancillary, that's about in general leverage of China and shaping U.S. domestic narratives. Again, Huawei was mentioned. This company. For past few years, this company right now is not so successful. If U.S. government did not take any action, this company right now should be number one in cell phone. Because in 2019, Huawei in first quarter actually output sales. Already number one, took over Samsung and Apple. After that, U.S. government have some kind of economic sanction because Huawei had to use chips made by the other economies, including U.S. and Taiwan and South Korea or Japan. The company in this economy use U.S. technology, so U.S. you cannot provide chips to Huawei. Since Huawei have to use the high-end chips for the cell phone, without chips, so the total output of the Huawei cell phone dropped. Right now, out of 10. Used to be almost number one. Right now, in cell phone, right now, Huawei is out of 10. Right? But Huawei have the products, this one still number one in the world. 5G. Okay. Now, the reason I emphasize the company, for popular U.S. government, just because the second issue, why the technological separation as the core of the decoupling. Well, if you look at history, technology is the engine that drives superpowers. U.S. government realized that, So right now they believe China already emerging as the second technological superpower through globalizations, especially, integration with US. Right? Then, US definitely will do something. Right now, we will see more policy strategy actually is on technological separation. Here, there's a table summarize, some, high-tech company subjected to multiple U.S. restrictions. Here, Huawei is number one, and Zhongxin, this is company, Hikvision, you will say, all of this. All right. Here, that's indicating already have some sanction. It's a high-tech, Chinese company. And also, U.S. already established a long entity list, focus on China. If you pick up 2 years, 2018, 2020, this is for China, just in the past few years, more Chinese companies, on the list. And also, we have investment, 2 ways. American company came to China to make investment, and also Chinese company come to US to make investment. Right now, US government have some restriction on Chinese company to acquire American firms. Say it was a significant decrease. Now, let's say how costly the decoupling is. First, I want to show you say in Trump's administration focused on trade war against China, say tariff, try to reduce U.S.-China trade deficit. Right? Well, let's say U.S. trade deficit, that's from 1990, goes here. For past few years, you say 2017, that's $513 billion US. Well, decreased a little bit, then recent years even got bigger. That's over the U.S. trade deficit. If you just look at China, actually still maintain very high, because even we have 25% of the tariff on almost all most Chinese products, but still we have to import from China. So that's why it looks like, trade war does not solve the issue, the problem. If you look at China's exports, you will find out, in past 5 years, here we use the data for top 4, all right? China, US, Germany, and Japan, that's top 4 exporting nations. You found out the red is China, still goes up. But for other 3, you say US blue, it's decreasing, and Germany also decreasing, Japan, yes, decreasing. Here, now, let's look at the overall picture. US-China integration in 4 channels. First one, trade. Second one, investment. That's foreign direct investment. Third one is the people flows. The last one is the idea flows. Right? Here, the data indicate the shares of the total US activities in percentage in 2 years. 2008 and 2018. 2018. You would say the US imports from China, from 16% got more than 20%. That's before 2018 already, trade war started. So actually, this is a big shares. And also US goods export to China is smaller than import a lot. Service, US service export, it's bigger than imports. When we say US have big trade deficit, mainly that's in goods and service goods. And in trade, in service trade, US enjoy big surplus. If you look at the data, say, US not a huge trade deficit, usually just for goods, merchandise. All right. If you put together, the trade deficit was smaller because we have trade surplus in services because say financial. Also think about it. We have a lot of international students from China. Definitely. We have much less American students studying in the US, studying in China. You think that. So here's FDI stock. And also here, that's investment. This is the people. US professional employment. There is an issue to China. You see, and the Chinese student. You will see this one. 2008, only 13%. 2018, 1/3. So we have a little bit more than 1 million international students in the US. A little bit more than 1/3 from China. That means more than 330,000 international students. Well, my school, Illinois State, we do not have many international students, but University of Illinois, Champaign, they have a lot. Champaign, UI, Champaign, they have international students about 30%, and that's more than, I think it's, 15,000, something like that. Half from China. So if you go to the open Champaign, you will see a lot of Asia. Just Chinese students, it's half. Then a lot of students from Japan, South Korea, Singapore, Malaysia. They look like Chinese. So you will see a lot of Chinese, something like that. Okay, and ideas is China business R&D expenditure in the US R&D expenditure in China. You can see. The integration is very close, very intensive. very intensive. Here's the data. That's a people flow. Yeah, I mentioned. Yeah, there's a data. Yeah. This one is a Chinese student. Yeah, you see, 370,000. Yeah, and share in international student. That's this one. Yeah, and high skill professional from China. Yeah, you would say travel. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, because I regularly visit China 2 times each year. That's my summer and winter break. Yeah, I take an airplane from Chicago to Beijing. For each flight, full, actually. Yeah, and a lot of flights. Each day, more than 25 or 30 flights daily. Yeah, and also it's a large commercial. Each of the airplane is about 300 or 500. It's large airplane. Yeah, you just imagine. Of course, right now, yeah, due to pandemic, yeah, significantly reduced. Okay. Now let's say, due to close integration, indeed, decoupling is not easy. Here, not easy means the cost for the US is very high. So here we have a survey. Yeah, this is a different sector and also even including defense and government. So if China offer a major market, you see here, 10, yeah, it's 14 is 10, yeah. And is China offer a major supply? Yes, a 5. And is China offer a major competitor? Yeah, there's a 4 industry. You would say manufacturing, yeah, very closely related to China in these 2 columns. They take China as a major market, and also China is a major supply. Yeah. Of course, here the 4 for take China as a competitor, you will say U.S. defense, yeah, and the government defense contract, yeah, and also let me see this one, yeah, manufacturing, yeah, just for this 4. So here you may get an idea. Indeed, U.S. economy indeed closely, yeah, intertwined with Chinese economy. Here we have assessments about the cost for decoupling, yeah, made by U.S. Chamber of Commerce. They focus on 4 areas for aggregate cost. That's trade, investment, people flow, and idea flows. Yeah, you will see. Yeah, I just highlighted the numbers. Yeah, you see. For trade, yeah, if we maintain 25 or even high tariff on two-way trade, each year, U.S. GDP would lose $190 billion. Yeah, and others actually not including that. You can see that investment. Yeah, you will see right now. Yeah, a lot of U.S. company, large company. Yeah, they produce it in China. Here I give you an example. Yeah, you probably got an idea. GM is largest automaker in the U.S., but right now, U.S. is not largest market for GM, General Motors. China is largest market for GM because GM produce more than 3 million cars and sold in Chinese market. In the U.S. market, number is smaller than that. Right now we see more Japanese car, even South Korea, Honda, right? Yeah, that's 10% of the U.S. market. Yeah. So, and not to mention, others, like McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and Starbucks, they have more than 2,000, 3,000 stores in China. So a lot of business. Yeah. People flows. Yeah, we mentioned about that. So each year, Chinese students come over here, and also Chinese people travel to U.S., spend a lot of money. Yeah, and the idea flows. Yeah, they have some estimates. And if we look at industry level, here we pick up 4 sectors, which is most important to U.S. economy. That's aircraft, aviation industry, meaning Boeing. If you read the news recently, due to the 2 countries' relationship in tension, China switched away Boeing to Airbus, buy more aircraft from Airbus, not Boeing. It's big loss for Boeing. Yeah, big loss for Boeing. China right now is largest buyers in international market for large airplane. Yeah, because more people there. Yeah, the market is huge. So first one, yeah, you can see that. Actually, if you accumulate, you see for every nation industry, yeah, it was huge. Semiconductor, yeah, semiconductor, including chips. This is very important. Yeah, right now, yeah, we found out, yeah, also, yeah, the cost is huge. Not only lost in output, but also jobs, right? Some politicians, particularly congressmen, yeah, they think some ways, yeah, just like so, we will have manufacturing, particularly in semiconductor back to US. The idea, yes, looks good, but in practice, not so easy to implement. Yeah, very difficult. Say, even US government right now forced Taiwanese company and Samsung in South Korea to build up new chips, manufacturing facility in the US. But the cost would be not just double, sometimes triple higher than in Taiwan and South Korea. So labor cost is most important one. Yeah, and chemical industry and the medical devices. Yeah. So here we have just summary indicate that. So if you look at it in back history, China, yeah, indeed is different from say US. We used to have a competitor like former Soviet Union and Japan. So this table just figure, just show for former Soviet Union, mainly, yeah, it's a military tech competitor and geopolitical rivals, but not a main market, not a main supplier. Japan, we have troops in Japan. All right, so Japan is not a geopolitical rivals. All right, when Japan in the economy reach more than 60% of US GDP, Japan mainly, is main supplier and competitor in manufacturing. Right? Not a main market because Japan is small. Market is small. China, you see, is a four area. So much more comprehensive. So even that, US still have a lot of advantages because we accumulate a lot of powers. So we have a lot of tools. So here I give you some summary. Say export control, investment restriction, and telecommunication license and equipment authorizations. The visa restriction a lot. We already did that. Say before 2017, after since 2017, U.S. government already did a lot. The only issue is the outcome may not be totally same like what we expected. That's the only issue. That's a lot. We already did a lot. Yeah. So here, let's say right now in the U.S. we focus on still in debate. So what kind of strategy or policy we should follow in decoupling. So here, let's focus on three. First one is restrictionist. The basic idea, argument is U.S.-China tech relations is zero sum, tends to advantage China. U.S. already just have a very short windows in which to prevent China's technological dominance. All right, and the U.S. should greatly expand tech restriction aimed at China. Supported for this idea, China hubs, some human rights defenders, and many national security officers. If you read news, you will find that many. And the second one, that's another extreme case. So corporationist. The argument, well, U.S.-China tech relationship is non-zero sum. Tends to benefit both. Both countries, China, U.S. And American often inflate China's tech and the major U.S. tech restriction, domestic harmful and international peace stabilizing. support for this one is many business interests. Yeah, many American companies, yeah, they still want to do business with China and the tech globalized activities, some progressives. Yeah, that's in the US. Right now, looks like, yeah, more and more people, yeah, would like to, yeah, hold this one. Yeah, the third one, centralist. That basic argument would be that's in the middle of the two extreme cases. Yeah. So many mainstream thinking analysts and moderate politicians. So that's now. My conclusion actually is like this. My research focus is international trade and investment, not international relations. So I focus on economic. So my perspectives right now, really, it's hard to predict the outcome of the decoupling policies for the US because this policy could be affected by many factors in the US, in China, and also the rest of the world. Think about right now, Russia-Ukraine war. Yeah, this is definitely influence US-China relationship. So a lot of things. Yeah. Right now, you say, if you remember, the last month, US Congress just passed the act that's chips and science. That one's good because when we compete with China, yeah, we can do something just like a restrictionist. Yeah, okay, stop, reduce trade investment, or so. You know, for Chinese American professors in the US right now, also they feel not so easy. All right, if you read news, a professor in MIT, yeah, I just arrested him just because he did something in behalf of the school, MIT. Yeah, they have a cooperation with a Chinese school. Yeah, so somehow, yeah, I think 2 days or 3 days ago, Wall Street Journal have the article. Yeah, say 1,400 Chinese American professors from top school and researchers, left the US, some back to China, some go to Hong Kong, Singapore, something. So right now, US government realize, yeah, this may not be a good policy for that because eventually, I mentioned the professor at MIT, yeah, the innocent is not something, actually the claim, no evidence, yeah. Anyway, so many things. So right now, if we do something, yeah, say we have more money on research and development, R&D, yeah, research and development, and we have more manufacturing. I know this is very difficult just because young people, yeah, you guys probably would not like working in the factory. I guess first choice for you guys is white collar, right? In the office, not in the workshop. Yeah. So, but remember, yeah, manufacturing still is a base for the economy, not services. Services sector is served for manufacturing, right? Globalization somehow, yeah, US have the plan to, okay, we mainly focus on service for manufacturing, particularly labor intensive. Yeah, we just outsource to developing countries. You know, 20 years ago, we thought that's a very good strategy. But right now, we found out it's a problem. For the US, yeah, income gap has been widening because less manufacturing jobs, yeah. And for service, some people couldn't get good job in services. So this is a lot of issues domestically, not just relationship with China. So very complicated. We cannot tell, yeah, so what will be in the future. So we'll see, yeah. All right, that's all, yeah, for my talk.
What does your data since 2018 show? In other words, the impact of the pandemic on trade. Your data is pretty much before pandemic.
You mean, I think one of the data, you mean this one? This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one, the data, yeah, that's from US Chamber of Commerce. Yeah, the data if you have data, you will say this data will be a little bit smaller, but not changing very much. No, no, not really. Yeah. But I know this one just this year dropped. Others, yeah, dropped. So services, yeah, people flow. This one, yeah, dropped a lot. But for this one also dropped a little bit, but this one does not change very much. Because in pandemic, we have to buy a lot of medical equipment, even including mask. You remember most made in China. Some is made in American company in China, like a 3M. Yeah. Yes.
So is one of the, I guess, best ways for United States to kind of combat it and take a better way, would you say to focus on manufacturing or just focus on other industries as well?
Well, right now, I would say Donald Trump has ideas that we should have manufacturing back to US. The direction is correct, but it's difficult to implement. Yeah, it's difficult because labor cost probably is the main consideration, labor cost. Yeah, and also young people, yeah, just like you think about you guys, you don't want to work in the workshop. Yeah, you don't want, yeah. It's not like 30, 40 years ago, yes.
Kind of like going to his question, like, is there another country like India that we could look to place our manufacturing? Is that
yes? Yeah,
solution?
That's a U.S. government already did. Since U.S. government take China as the main challenger or competitor, so U.S. said, okay, if we cannot have manufacturing back to U.S., at least we can have manufacturing out of China, yeah, to other countries, Mexico or India. Yeah, go that way. Well, this cannot benefit the US, but it can make China, yeah, lose. Yeah, it's good make China worse off. Yeah, yeah, indeed, US government already did that. That's why, yeah, you see right now, US trade India very friendly, very friendly right now. Just, I would say, the history somehow is interesting. 40, 30 years ago, in particular 1980s, at that time, US treated China very friendly because US will use China to fight with former Soviet Union. Right now, US use same policy, but now is use India, target China, just go this way. Yeah, same policy, yeah. But some of our people, in particular economists, realize India also potentially could be a competitor. Just like India would like to become another China. That's India right now. Yeah, the government, their target, their goal. They say, well, they just watch China. Yeah, so successful. So we will do the same thing. So India right now, in many aspects, follow China's policy. Also have manufacturing, attract the foreign company, particularly from the US. And also right now, in the US not so happy with India because Russia-Ukraine war. India, yeah, not stand with us, with Russia. So still, yeah, complicated. And also right now, one thing is for sure, US will not follow free trade policy as before. That's why right now, US will not sign any free trade area treatment. So India may not be another China because right now, even US cannot have manufacturing or manufacture back to US, but the US will still work very hard to try to do something. Yeah, particularly keep high-tech manufacturing in the US. All right, because labor intensive countries, really, yeah, we do not have advantage due to high labor cost.
So if China's like GDP like overtakes the US GDP, how do you think that would really affect, I guess, like the American life?
Well, yeah, if you look at this table, you will say probably, yeah, here's a PVP, here's the exchange rate. China's population is more than 4 times. More than 4 times. So if you look at the GDP per capita, China is far behind the US. US, by the end of this year, close to 70,000 US dollars. China probably just like $14,000. So it's 1/5, 20%. But GDP matters. I'll give you one example. You think about it. As a superpower, US maintain big advantage in military power, military. Why? We have more money, we have more, the budget, in defense. So we could produce high-tech weapons. Money matters here most. If China's GDP surpassed US, China could use same percentage of GDP in defense. You may expect in the future, China's military, technology capability could increase. This may challenge US superpower position. For personal life, I want to say in near future, I would say it will take a long time for China's per capita GDP to be close to the US. GDP, many people will, it's possible because China has more people. You see, just recently, India's GDP surpassed UK. Well, India's population, I would say, let me see, India right now, same like China. It's many times of the UK's population.
Looking at China population, the inverted age population in China,
Yes.
and versus India, which has a very young population.
Yes.
So some people say the Chinese youth dividend has been spent. Where do you see population costs versus growth?
Yes. So you're right. That's why some economists believe Chinese GDP growth rate will be slowed down. Slowing just because if you got data, China probably have lowest birth rate in the world because right now young couples in China, they just want either they don't want kids or just one, right? Just 10 years ago, less than 10 years, I said 2015, Chinese government switched the policy, China used to have the one-child policy, this control population. But right now, Chinese government said, okay, you can have 2, or even you can have 3, or give you subsidies. But the young generation, they don't want because the cost is high. China, you guys are lucky. In China, young people, they feel big pressures because young people's unemployment rate in China, young people, close to 20%. 20% unemployment rate for young people. So even you got college degrees, not easy to get a job or good job, something. So,
What about the social costs of aging in China? Because you've got 5 times as many old people.
This also, it's a big problem for China. And China, some people say China will become more like Japan. The Asian people say 62 years old or older could be more than 10% or even 16%. This will be, larger than the US. So this is a problem. That's why the Chinese government, they have the policy, okay, so they will make the economic transformation, not depends on labor intensity. They will also, just like US or Western European countries, move the economy from low end to high end. So pay more attention on human resources. I go this way. I don't know if this works or not. So this actually is a problem China faced.
But you don't use that in your calculations for economics.
Well, right now, some people already use this one, all right? And also use the data. Say recently, something happened, just like say, in Russia-Ukraine war or something. Say, I think the Professor Larry Summers, he said, that's in Harvard, he used to be the Treasury Minister. He said, we thought China will take over US GDP just in near future, say before 2030. But right now, say, wow, this is not so sure because Chinese GDP growth rate, already, become lower and lower. This year, probably lower than 3%, 4%, 3%. Used to be set up like 5%, right now it's difficult due to China's very strict policy on the pandemic. Yeah, they just okay, lock down the city. Yeah, just what happened in spring for Shanghai. Yeah, so it's you're right. So right now we are not so sure China's GDP soon will equal US GDP. You're right.
Any other questions?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thanks for coming, Mike.
No, my pleasure.
That's a good question.
Thank you.
Thank you.